Give me a character to draw, part 2. It has to be an existing character, so no made-up bullshit character. Now, you may have heard of Deviantart before. It's an art site for sharing your art. But that's not what Deviantart is mostly famous for. Unfortunately, it's all the weird shit.
Excellent.
I've actually tried this once before, taking suggestions that I have to draw. And this was the previous result, these 3 characters. And I'm quite pleased with how they turned out. I'm hyped for doing it again. So let's start. It looks like the suggestions are in. Let's take a look at what people suggested. Cardcaptor Sakura. I'm not exactly sure who this character is, but Negalimbo got their character drawn in the last round, so I'm not sure I'll be drawing their character this round. Next we have Josuke the Imposter. Search the Tenric. I don't really know much about the Sonic franchise, but let's take a look. I'm gonna copy this in Google so we can see the character. A green Sonic character with sharp teeth. Oh yeah, of course I have to censor some of this shit already. This is just a Google search and I have to censor it. I'm gonna start off by trying to draw Search the Tenrec. So let's get to it. Alright, so first I need to research a bit about this character. I know nothing about this character. So, with a little help from the internet, I found out that this character was some sort of a villain, and their special ability is speed and electricity. I think I want to do something about, something cool with the electricity thing. Alright, time to go.
Get ready for the next battle.
Alright, so straight off the bat here, I'd just like to give a little disclaimer, because I'm not a professional artist. I've never been to art school. I'm pretty much self-taught. All I have is a background as a multimedia designer, of creating video games, and a little bit of animation. So take everything I say and do with a grain of salt, because I make a lot of mistakes, and there are probably a lot of easier ways to do things than what I do in this video, but this is just to show you guys that anybody can draw, basically. You know, you don't need to go to art school, you don't need to be professional. And as you see here on this sketch for this character, I pretty much started out just using very rough lines and very rough shapes to get a better idea in my head on what the pose for the character was going to be. And as you see here, I changed the pose of the character a lot while sketching, so it just helps you to get a better idea on what's going on, and it gives you a starting point. And what you also may notice is me being an idiot and not knowing how hands work, because I kept putting her thumb on the wrong side of her hand for the hand sign, and I was so confused at the moment, but when I realized it, I felt like a giga idiot. So yeah, it happens to everybody. Now, moving on to outline, I usually use a charcoal brush because it gives it a more organic feel to the drawing. I of course also use the pressure sensitivity in the pen to make the outline thicker and thinner whilst I draw. This also gives a more organic feel to the drawing. I use smoothing 100% because my hands are a bit shaky. It must be my old age, eh? No. It gives it a more like smooth line, and I don't have to worry about my hands shaking or anything. If you notice, from time to time I actually turn off my sketching layer just to check on the outline to see, you know, how it turned out without any of the red bullshit lines in the way. Moving on to basic coloring. When it comes to existing characters like this one, I like to just, you know, take the character and just grab the colors straight off the original art, because it's way easier, and then I'm guaranteed that the color code matches the original. Simple as that. Although I do tend to use a darker gray instead of the pitch black that is often used on characters, because for me it's much easier to shade and highlight. So I usually just use a dark gray instead. When it comes down to shading, well, I've said this in one of my previous videos, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm pretty much just putting down some shading, putting down some highlights, you know. If it works, it works. If it don't, I'll erase it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I should probably look more into how it actually works, but, you know, it's just if it looks good, I'll keep it. If it don't, I'll discard it. Oh, and an easy tip to doing lightning or laser effects in Photoshop is just draw your lightning or laser beam in pure white, then move into Photoshop's effect settings and turn on the glow effect. In here you can adjust the glow, the color of the glow, and it makes a really nice sort of, you know, effect on a laser beam or a lightning strike. And for the background of the characters, as you see, I just use a simple texture and some coloring and a little bit of scratch textures in the background, some paint splatter, all to make the character stand out a little bit more. So here we have it, Surge the Tenrek, ready to beat up some bad guys. Or good guys. I mean, she is a villain after all, so... We have Sharpfan here, who suggests King K. Rool. So this is a character I know of. It's from Donkey Kong. I was about to say King Kong. It's from Donkey Kong, yeah. The crocodile guy. This like fat alligator crocodile thing. An interesting character. But it could be fun to try and draw King K. Rool. Never drawn anything like an alligator or a crocodile before, so yeah.
Get ready for the next battle.
So again here, starting out with simple shapes and rough lines just to get a better idea on how the character is going to look. So after some research about the character, I found out that he does this kind of pointing pose. And I really liked that pose, so I decided to draw him doing that pose. And also I decided to give him his like pirate gun and pirate hat, as you will see soon enough. So this big guy is a Nintendo character, and I have to admit, I don't really know a lot about Nintendo characters because I grew up with a PlayStation. I grew up with games like Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank, to just name a few, and I really have fond memories with these games and characters, but I don't know a lot about Nintendo or their characters because I never played Nintendo games as a kid. Okay, that's kind of a lie, because I did actually own a Nintendo console as a kid. It was a Game Boy Advanced, you know, one of those flip-up ones with a tribal tattoo on the cover. It was really cool back in the day. I forgot to record me doing the outline of this character, but it's basically the same as the last time. So, here it is. Oh, I also owned a Nintendo Wii, that's right, how could I forget? I mostly owned that to play the Mario Kart game and also the No More Heroes franchise, which I thought was very cool because it was like Kill Bill, blood splatter, so I had to get that. Unfortunately, I found out in Europe the game is censored and the people just turn to dust instead of explode into blood fountains, so I was very disappointed. I live in Denmark and we usually don't censor anything here, which comes as a huge shock to Americans when they visit our country because the songs that they listen to in the States, when they hear them in our radio, they find out that the ones they've been listening to are not the original because they censor all the swear words. I mean, a very good example of this is the Black Eyed Peas song called Let's Get It Started. I mean, go search the uncensored version and you'll be surprised because Let's Get It Started is not the original lyrics to the song. So, yeah, enjoy that. Anyways, getting a bit off topic here, sorry about that. As you see here, I was attempting to draw the, like, crocodile scale texture The way I did that was just draw it in a different layer and, you know, adjust the transparency. And it worked out alright. For the background, I just do exactly the same as I did in the previous drawing. And there you have him, King K. Rool, challenging you to a round of Super Smash Brothers. Then we have Artsume, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. Fumikage Tokoyami. So this is a character from an anime. It's from My Hero Academia, and I've actually seen the anime, so I know this character. It's like the bird guy. So this one could be fun to draw. I'm always a sucker for anime characters. You can do like something cool with the pose and the shadow thing.
Get ready for the next battle.
Right off the bat, this character is a lot less cartoony, which means I have to use a bit more proper anatomy. So to help me achieve this, I use a reference photo, and for this one I chose a kung fu pose, because I had a very good idea on what I wanted to do with like the dark shadow coming from behind and sweeping around his hand. So I start off by drawing a skeleton inside of the character, then building up muscles, and then in the final layer I draw the details and the clothes and stuff. As you see, even though I'm using reference photos and, you know, building a skeleton inside the character and stuff like that, I still struggle a bit with the proportions of the character. But that's just because anatomy is super hard to do. You have to study it a lot to get it perfect. And when you're working with dynamic poses, you sometimes have to do something called foreshortening, which can be hard to do. Especially for me, but luckily this pose didn't contain a lot of foreshortening, so it was easier for me to work with. I was kind of unsure what I wanted to do with the right hand of the dark shadow, so in the end I just decided to draw it going behind him. It kind of looks like it's stealing his pocket money, but it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. And again, with the outline, it's exactly the same as I do in the previous drawings. A charcoal brush and pen sensitivity, that's it. And again, with the coloring, using a darker gray instead of the pitch black, because Tokoyami is a very dark character. There's a lot of, you know, black in his character design, and it's kind of hard to shade pitch black, so I chose to use a darker gray instead. For dark shadow, I noticed that it was a bit more like purplish, dark purple, so I decided to go with the purple on that. So you may notice that I'm using a lot of highlight on this drawing. That's because there's a lot of black on this character, and black on black is very hard to differentiate what is what in the drawing. So by using a bright highlight on the outline, it's more clear. And there we have him, Tokoyami, going plus ultra to destroy Class 1B, because those guys suck. And then we have Rousey from Deltarune. Now, I've never really played Deltarune before, so I'm not... Is this like the goat character thing? Let's take a look. It is like the goat character with a wizard hat on. Oh, already we have some fucking weird shit here going on. Come on, people. Can't we just have some... I just searched it on Google Images and I already get some questionable stuff. Does this character have white fur, or does this character have black fur? Like this? It's a dude? I thought it was a girl. It looks a bit like a girl. I'm sorry. Oh, this is Asriel. Okay, sorry. This is... There we go. I see. My mistake. This is why I was confused. Sometimes he has a black fur and sometimes he has a white fur. So, and that depends on if he is wearing the hat, I guess. It's supposed to shroud his identity. Some very, very great concept art there. Ugh, fantastic. I mean, if only I were that good at drawing. It's like a very cutesy character. I'm gonna try my best to capture that in my drawing, even though cute characters is not my specialty. I'm not really good at drawing cutesy characters, to be honest. So we're gonna do it.
Get ready for the next battle.
So immediately I have to put a Sans theme in the background. I just have to, because Undertale has some amazing music. And this is a nice remix of the song that might play when you fight Sans by Gooseworx. You should check it out. It's amazing. So I think this character is supposed to be a bit shy and reserved. So I try to achieve this by drawing his pose, where he's like holding his hand behind his back and waving a bit nervously. And I think I nailed it pretty well. I gave him sort of like short stubby fingers and paw-like hands because I think it fits in with the cutesy theme that I'm going with. Now, I don't actually have that many comments on this one, so I'll just let you sit back, relax, and enjoy the speed art, and enjoy the amazing remix here by Gooseworx. And here it is, the final drawing of this challenge. Thank you very much for watching this speed art video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can subscribe to my channel or follow me on Deviantart if you like. I do a lot of silly drawings, a lot of silly videos, and I like to, draw and stuff. So, yeah.